Welcome to Ryan's Reef Blog.
Hi, and welcome to Ryan's Reef. Today we're going to be going over how it is to set up a phosphate reactor inside of your aquarium so that you're able to keep the phosphate levels as low as possible. And I'm really ready to see this stuff go. Now I have perfect water levels. I run a 3-stage filtration system, and so with water levels good and all those other things good, the only other thing it could really be is the fact that I'm A, overfeeding my tank, and B, I'm dosing my phytoplankton and zooplankton in too high levels. And what's occurring is that nutrients are starting to build up in the tank, and this nutrient buildup is what is then able to be metabolized by the algae by the bacteria so that it can create this red slime. What I have to do at this point here is I'm going to have to go a little bit more aggressive. Even though the water parameters are good and I have great filtration systems in place, I'm going to take it one more step here, and I'm going to do a more active filtering method. Passive system is where you take a bag of media, and inside this bag of media you have the different properties that are able to absorb all the bad nutrients. And if you put the bag of media inside your tank where water flows over it, you have a bag right here, and water starts to flow around the bag and not through the bag. The idea here then with a reactor is to fill the reactor up with the media that you want to use to have the filtration pass through, and then you run just some very simple equipment to make that actually happen. So the equipment that you use to cause the reactor to work properly on your tank is first the reactor itself. What I'm using for my Red Sea Max 130D, which is a 34-gallon tank, is the Phos Reactor 150 by Two Little Fishies, and they really seem to make great products, so I ought to be happy with this one. But this is what I'm using. So this is the reactor itself, so you see the reactor, and then you actually have to have a pump to push the water through the reactor and then out the return line and back into the tank. And so I went with the MaxiJet 400. You only need about 30 gallons per hour to actually push the water through this, according to the reactor manual. This does 110 gallons per hour, I believe. So what you then do is the Phos Reactor by Two Little Fishies comes with a little ball valve here. With this ball valve, I'll be able to restrict the flow so I don't push too much water through too fast. Now, once you get to the actual media that you're going to fill the reactor with, there's many options available for that. When I'm going to do something, I like to go all the way with it. You can buy stuff for a bucket that's supposed to be good phosphate absorbers, and you can get it for $15. And then there's many different levels all the way up. And I'm out here now in Dallas, Texas. I've moved from California. Yes, I did bring my reef tank with me, and everybody lived. It was a successful move. But the store that I'm going to is the same store that the Dallas Cowboys go to. And the professionals there at the store are basically saying that the row of Phos here is in a league of its own. And based on price alone, it seems to support such a claim. So you can spend $15 on the large reactor media, or you can spend, this little guy here was 50 bucks. So the first time you run it, if you're having a problem, you probably want to go all out and see how that works. Of course, at the same time, you could just stay tuned to my show here and you can gauge it for yourself, because I will do an update and show whether this worked and if I'm seeing any reductions or exactly what's happening. If it turns out that it does work, I would probably end up going with the higher end media like this. And then I'm going to use Velcro straps for the actual installation application. Because I'm using an all-in-one kit, the Red Sea Max 130D, it has a full tank canopy. There's no way to physically hang this on the back of my tank since the canopy is fully enclosing the top. So I'm going to end up having to post this on the side of my tank just above the water level. So I'm going to install everything, then I'm going to give you a video tour on what the installation looks like, then we'll do an update later to see how it actually works.
Short little update of the tank now that I'm back here in Texas. I see my bubble coral, see all the coralline algae growing out all over the place. That's my new little green star that I got. He's kind of growing out. I've learned to put green stars on their own rocks so they do not overtake your tank. That's an Australian knuckle coral right there, center stage. Supposedly very rare, has a worm that lives inside of them. That's my clam, got a gonoporia back there. Hard coral to keep. Got my Duncan, my feather duster. See more cyano on the rock? All that cyano is what this whole video post is about. Okay, so we're fixing to go over to the reactor side, and looking at the reactor here, you see that I've posted it up on the wall next to the tank, and what's happening is the water is going vertically the opposite direction down that shaft, and then coming up. It rises up through the media, up through that tube, down the tube, and then into the tank. So one of the tubes is pushing the water in, and it forces the water up, and here's the two tubes coming through the back of the 130D, and you just have a return line and a pump line. And there you have it. The skimmer is installed, and I will be doing an update to show you how it actually worked. Thank you very much, and you guys have a great day.